Hi, everyone. I'm so happy that you're here with us. Recently, we sent out a survey. You may remember that, talking about things that we could improve in our district. And we had a lot of response and we gained a lot of information. We assembled a transition team, and this is the team that we assembled. And we're here to explain this process to you. I'm going to give it over to Carrie Strong, who's going to explain what happened.
Hi, we are here today to share the Leadership Transition Survey and Workshop process. Our school district contracted with the San Diego County Office of Education to administer leadership transitions and facilitate a team workshop. You may remember being asked and reminded several times to take an electronic anonymous survey in the last few months. After several reminders, we had 91 staff members complete the survey. Thank you to those who took the time to complete the survey. Our LT workshop was held on December 13th, 2021. The following people served on the transition team. Myself, Carrie Strong, the Lakeside Teacher Association president.
Grace Cox, principal at Riverview International Academy.
Todd Owens, the director of maintenance operations and transportation.
Jared Murphy, manager of the Extended Student Services Program.
Leslie Hardiman, principal at Tierra del Sol Middle School.
Jim Rosa, principal at Lakeside Farms.
David Myers, CSEA president.
Stacy Arnold, the interim executive director of Human Resources.
Andrew Hayes, member of the board.
And that was our team. Today, the LT workshop team will help you understand the process. At the end of today's presentation, Leslie is going to explain how you will be able to provide input to help set the priorities. The LT workshop team building process is designed to address organizational needs related to supporting the entire district. The goals include minimizing individual and organizational stress, and B, assisting leadership and staff to improve adult working relationships to support student achievement. The outcomes of the workshop were to examine the district's internal management process and procedures to identify issues for improving overall effectiveness. Second, we were to identify the areas of strength. And third, identify areas of concern and develop possible recommendations for each concern. This is not a to-do list for one person or group, but it is a way to make our district the best that it can be. I'm going to describe how we spent our time at the workshop. We started with norms for the session and created a brainstorm chart. We reviewed the data from the survey in several different ways. We looked at themes, strengths, and concerns. And then we worked in groups to come up with possible recommendations for each category and concern. Again, this is not a to-do list for any one individual, but rather a way for us to make our district the best that it can be. At the end of today's presentation, Leslie Hardiman will explain how you will be able to provide input on your priorities. Now I'm going to invite Andrew Hayes to share the strengths of our district.
Thank you, Carrie. So I'm just going to read through our strengths here, and I'm so glad to see that there are so many strengths. So I'm going to start here on our list. A new superintendent, increased communication, HR communication is improved. There's a family feel and friendly part of the district. Speak freely with the administration. Folks feel that others have their back. Work on vision and goals is going on. Approachability. Folks are doing the best that they can. Open mind and fresh outlook. Care about students. COVID testing site. Student-centered values. Folks are dedicated. The superintendent is the face of the district. District and school collaboration. Email response time. Welcoming building. Superintendent, assistant superintendent, and management are visiting campuses and are approachable. Ed services and superintendent are visible on the sites. They're supportive. Staff willing to listen to concerns. Good communication. The hearts are in the right place. Up-to-date communication. Accessible. Business services cares. I know their names. Kind and helpful. Organized. Great benefits. And clear vision.
Thank you.
All right, I am going to take a look. I was a part of the communication group, and I'm going to list off some areas of concerns with recommendations. Please remember, these are in no particular order. First off, a concern: lack of respect in communication, top heavy or overstaffed, with the recommendation of having a flow chart with the department update. The next concern: decision making in regards to the budget, input, and general concerns in overall decision making. A recommendation would be a summary of the decision with shared steps and a rationale when possible. The next concern would be principals being visible on site due to being pulled off of campus, with a recommendation of communication to all staff when offsite, and then being mindful of times when administrators are pulled off campus. The next concern is a lack of trust, and the recommendation is to have ongoing open communication. The next concern: better understanding of inequities, with the recommendation of more specifics needed and potential more surveys and participation on those surveys. The next concern: the lack of interdepartment communication, with the recommendation of reevaluate a new student flow chart when a new student arrives into the district. The next area of concern within special ed and pupil services: a lack of approachability, lack of transparency within special ed and the staff department, clarity about the special ed process in regards to caseloads, and adequate support training for certificated and classified staff, with the following recommendations: weekly and or bi-weekly communication with updates through newsletters and possible openings, and then ongoing support. I'm going to turn it over to Jared Murphy, who's going to go over departments.
Hello, all. My team and I were asked to identify the repeating concerns within the different departments. We also made recommendations for each concern. Please keep in mind these concerns are in no particular order. Within the special education department, we noticed a lack of support to sites from special ed. More specifically, a lack of support with difficult cases at sites. Our recommendation: hire more staff in the special ed department. This will allow more support to the sites. There is also a lack of support for the director of special ed. Our recommendation: restructure the special ed staff so that the entire department has more support. Through the data, we learned that there are resource inequalities with special education services to sites. The team's recommendation is to garner support from the pupil services team. We have also noticed there is a lack of understanding of jobs, specifically who to call or ask when a question arises. We recommend creating a flow chart of duties and job responsibilities of all personnel. There is the concern that even when the right person is contacted, either by phone or email, they do not return the message in a timely manner, specifically a gap in communication from the special ed department. Our recommendation is that there is a clear expectation that calls, emails are returned within 1 business day, and that the special ed team block out time daily to respond to messages. Within the Ed Services Department, there were many concerns that the new programs were overwhelming. Our team recommends having hands-on trainings and notifying the attendees well in advance of when the training will be needed. I will now turn it over to Dr. Hardiman to discuss morale concerns and recommendations.
Hello, everyone. I am going to talk about the morale concerns and recommendations. So one of the concerns we have is board culture. The recommendations are that we provide board member roles and responsibilities, describe difference between state and county mandates versus board decisions, and then send out board member profiles that explain who they are and what they represent. Next, we have top-heavy overstaffed at the district office. Create communication portal and or handbook that people read and pay attention to with a response incentive. Provide department roles and responsibilities, who and what they oversee, organizational chart, etc., in order to explain roles and staff as well as what they do. Another concern is disconnect between DO and sites, an us versus them mentality, and be more involved and hands-on at school sites. The recommendations are provide trust building activities in intimate settings with smaller groups to bridge gaps, have casual conversations at school sites face to face or grade level meetings 1 to 3 times a year, provide staff bonding days, one of our staff PD days maybe, where schools and DO have school-wide and DO-wide bonding time, and provide opportunities for people to attend conferences outside the district that focus on specialty training and time to collaborate. Another concern is stressed and or overwhelmed and overloaded at the site with little support and lack of support at sites. The recommendation is constructive feedback or timely feedback, check-ins with new employees and subs to increase feelings of support. So, what we're going to be doing now is figuring out how we are going to get the word out. So, our next steps are your group leaders will share the document and the posters with you. Each member will get 2 sticky dots, one red and one blue, and your highest priority will be in red, and your second choice will be in blue. The charts will travel to several groups to receive input. After the input sessions, our team will develop a plan to address the needs based on priority. The transition team will share the plan with all groups in a future podcast.
Okay, well, that's pretty much it. Thank you, team, for explaining that so magnificently. I'm going to apologize for the computer ringing. My phone was nearby, so it just rang on the computer. But yeah, it's going to be, remember that this is going to take some time. We are not going to be able to get through all of this in 1 year. So this is going to be an ongoing work project that we're going to take on together, all of us together, to make this district as strong as it can be. So everybody has to pitch in on that. And we'll be doing updates throughout probably the next few years as we move on with progress towards these goals. I appreciate everybody who took the time to give the input so that we have a strong plan. We will craft that plan together and we will get it out to you so you know exactly what's happening all the time. And as always, if you have any questions, please reach out to any of us and we can answer that for you, or to me specifically, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Okay, well, thank you. That's it. And happy talking with your crew. Bye-bye.